because we're arguing that this food enjoyment is something that is culturally rooted. It's something that is related to the cultural identity. These effects are more likely to emerge when people are thinking or are viewing the world with a cultural glass, with a cultural lens. So that's why in all of the studies we compare versus, when we prime the cultural identity or when we make that cultural identity salient in your mind versus situations in which that's not the case. And there's where we see, how people respond to presenting nutrition information along a particular food item. And then what we argue in our since the very beginning, and then we kind of prove in the different studies, is that if you're thinking with a cultural lens, if you have your cultural glasses on and you are a French, then when you see nutrition information in food, you pretty much notice that nutrition information is cueing utilitarianism, which is kind of opposing to what your cultural glass is telling you, or your cultural mind is telling you, which is hedonism. Is I should be enjoying this. I shouldn't be focusing so much on how much nutritional value, how utilitarian this food is going to be for me. And then because of that juxtaposition of two things that are not necessarily consistent with each other when you wear that cultural glass, then the French experience this negative response. They either see the food as less tasting or they see the food as less healthy, as riskier for you if this is actually something that's not necessarily very healthy. Or they sometimes in some other studies they attribute to the food bad taste or it's going to be less enjoyable. Whereas the Americans, where they are wearing the cultural glasses, then they don't see that juxtaposition. Then nutrition information that is utilitarian and enjoyment, which is not central to my culture when I'm thinking in cultural terms, none of that gets really kind of lighted up. Then you just see neutral information. This is information, might be useful, might be not, but it's not information that is inconsistent with who I am at the moment from a cultural perspective. So in this type of cultures, then our research suggests that public policymakers have to be very careful in terms of how they try to convince consumers to do choices or to make choices that might not be culturally consistent if they are thinking at the moment kind of in a cultural way.